hello. How are you? We figured out that Will can make himself look like he has inflict wounds. Can you raise that hand higher, or does it lose
Slightly.
power?
This is as high as I can go. Power of inflict.
It's brilliant, and I love it.
Oh, that is
And
amazing.
now I'm gonna change my exposure.
Now we're LARPing. That's how it works. All right. So after that that fight where a bunch of you got bitten by snakes, and when those who did, you know, there's still a soreness in your leg, but you mostly just feel like tired. You just feel an ache of pain through your body. Actually, the Challenger itself didn't do a whole lot of things, but that was one of the things that the snakes hurt. Turns out.
As it comes down, Vic should be okay. All right. Pull the snake out of his arm. The head.
Yeah,
that's
snake
up there.
head. Yeah.
He keeps getting stuff wedged in his arms. First it was crystals, now it's snakes.
Drow blood is just really tasty.
Apparently.
It turns out.
I think it's elf blood in general.
Yeah.
So I keep getting bitten as well.
Don't
So
say.
Cannibals prefer elf.
Oh no.
So
Okay.
I think we should just rest for a little bit, regardless of what we're doing, whether we're going back or whether we're going to assume that we all need to challenge. I assume we all need to challenge.
Is there anything that like makes it look like Tobias has challenged, like done his challenge? Is there any, like,
Not
really
really.
anything about Tobias?
I'll put it to you this way: if that was the way to my sins, I've been a pretty good lad, you know. And then I just look to Vieric. I'm like, I don't want to know what comes out when this one.
Well, why don't we find out? After
it'll
we
be.
rest a little bit.
I think that's probably a good idea. Yeah.
And just a short little rest here, you know. Let me just catch my breath for a little bit. Maybe do some light reading. Roll a
As
hit
you do.
dice.
I'm
You
gonna-
know,
I'll make a quick little snack for everybody.
Yeah, you know,
I'm gonna drink some of my
So
wine.
you're gonna have a short rest. You're just basically
Yes.
saying you're gonna
Yep.
set up somewhere in this cavern behind the pillars or like nearer the door.
I imagine Viric's like drinking the wine. There's like
um,
on the wound.
behind the pillars, probably. I think we'd probably try and stay out of view of people.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Off to the corner, we know there's nothing in now. Maybe like where we put the snakes, because they're all gone now. So
Yes. Yeah, and you also probably one of you spend some time to like throw all the snake corpses just anywhere else.
We might want to keep them.
Or even Aelinor cooks them if you want to cook them.
We might want to keep the scales because they are kind of pretty looking. We
Yeah,
could
they kind
probably
of a
sell
shiny,
them.
pretty blue.
oh, that's not a bad idea.
Right?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Okay, so if we're doing a short thing, I'm gonna
So,
roll the hit
We'll
dice.
skin a couple of them. I will cook something with them. Actually, I do have like a mess kit on me.
I'm gonna
Ooh.
expend.
Vieric will actually watch you cooking stuff and try and sort of watch how you do it, because he's only ever seen one other person cook, and he burnt it.
Why don't you give me a this is a wisdom check over there, Miss Aelinor.
Excellent.
Sometimes cooking's intelligence, sometimes it's wisdom. Sometimes it's
Oh,
dex.
I hope if I ever cook, it's not
Why am
wisdom.
I...
Because we were
Advantage.
attacking with advantage.
I know.
Oh no.
You do
Oh,
cook
no.
up these snakes.
This is how we
Uh-huh.
You kind of put them on like spits, and you kind of like, but the thing is, they all fell in like piles of ash
Yeah.
and soot.
Oh.
And you don't really notice when you like cook it, but when you bite into it, it's like, it tastes like bonfire.
See, but we
I think it's fine, and I ate all of it.
I
wouldn't know
actually
that
like
that
that
is-
taste. So
flavor of a snake. That could just be how those snakes taste. None of us have ever eaten those.
And I will actually
Very
give Varric extra because he needs to keep up his strength with the evil spirit inside of him.
Like, and Vieric would actually like pour a little bit of wine over it to try and make it taste better.
it doesn't really.
No, we tried.
So all of you do
Why
your
ash snake.
hit dice if you can do hit dice.
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
I am good to go.
I rolled exactly how much I needed to be back at full health.
good. That's what we call
Nice.
good.
That's the second time
Yeah.
you've done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what next, party? When you're resting for an hour, you're cooking up and things. It's just very quiet. It just returns to the quiet of when you're walking through. The only thing you can hear is yourselves. And when you have these small conversations, they echo through the chamber, which you didn't really notice before. The acoustics in here are beautiful. It's quiet and you're not interrupted at all. Aside from maybe one of you, maybe we're like Tobias is just like watching the archway on the statue's holding, but nothing comes out, nothing happens.
I would re-put my dancing lights on people, and then put one dancing light above the archway.
I will actually put those dancing lights on the humans because it matters to them.
A lot.
Well, if we're going to challenge this again, I think we might want to do Virix first.
Sounds good to me.
Then perhaps, I don't know what would be better. After that, probably mine, but I don't
We can
know
see where we are.
Yeah, I don't know that we necessarily want to finish off with Eleanor's, given the, well, incredible prowess of her strikes. I'm slightly worried that it might mirror in some way.
Oh, I'll be scared.
So if
Very
we're gonna go.
remembering the explosion.
If we're gonna go Varric first, because it charged towards Tobias last time, I would suggest Varric standing a little bit backwards before issuing the challenge, and then we can all like align it so we can get attacks off if he charges through it.
I agree.
So we can just stab him a bunch of times.
Yeah. So like you could be like right there, we'd be over here.
I would go
Let me get rid of these snake calls.
20 feet from the archway. Exactly.
Yeah, right there.
I like it. I like it.
If it runs through this square in between you and I, would we have advantage on our attacks of opportunity?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Close.
If
Okay.
things work out.
If things.
Virk stretches a little, and this is gonna be interesting.
I just accidentally
what was
dabbed.
his- what was his name again?
Magnor.
Actually, Magnanor. Magnanor?
You're an elf trying to pronounce a giant name. It's close.
Oh yeah,
enough.
I don't. The thing is, like, I have to say this in giant. I'm like, just tell me
Magdanir?
exactly what to say.
I also
Magdanir.
like to ready an action to cast Hunter's Mark on whatever comes out of that
Mhm.
archway.
Yeah, I'm kind of like deciding that like casting spells as readied actions is usually not okay, but Hunter's Mark is totally okay because that's like more or less you're just focusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll totally allow that.
Okay.
So yeah, then I'll copy exactly what they say because I don't know how to speak
Yes.
giant. So I'll just copy
Here's the thing.
exactly.
If we say it, I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
challenge.
Oh yeah,
we
no, okay.
get.
What I would say is I would ask each individual word, and then I would try and
And then you put them together. Yeah.
So
yeah.
we'll.
Phonetically say it.
Oh my goodness. All right.
and then I would hold the sword up and say that I challenge Magdanir. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. got it.
As you do, he butchers it, but you don't know if you're pronouncing things that well either. Because you none of you are. I mean, giant is an old language used by some current races. When he says that, the portal starts to spark to life, and Virric is dragged by an unseeable force to stand in front of the altar.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yep. Hi, guys. So.
And it sparks to life almost like a glittering ocean for a moment, where a similar thing where a being very human-like, or maybe giant-like, comes out as a large size, sees Virric and shrinks to more or less his size, but almost like the mask was actually their face, like maybe they don't understand the mask, and it actually looks demonic and foul in this flowing water. Why don't you give me initiative rolls?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Expect the unexpected, right?
Hey. Oh no. I thought I saw the dice. I thought it was mine.
Oh.
Well, that makes sense. I just got dragged. I'm like, what the fuck?
317.
Free 17. That's like a little obnoxious.
And then
Just
there's
saying.
me.
Yeah. The rest of you see this happening a bit for. Virric is probably entirely freaked out by the fact that he was just, like, dragged by nothing to stand in front of the altar. So, Eleanor, you actually act first, because your name begins with A.
Is that how it works?
It actually is dex score ties, but
Dex score, yeah.
so what are your dex scores? Everyone?
My dex score is a +0, so.
+1.
Mine is +4.
All right, so it's actually Tobias, Barut, and Aelnor. Tobias, why don't you go
Reverse
ahead?
alphabetical.
It is reverse alphabetical. And now we know our ABCs, although I don't. I was looking at E earlier, and I was in G. Like, I'm terrible at that.
Can I be in this square, or is this like not?
No, you can. It's just accidentally on the wrong layer. So that's why it's
Gotcha.
kind of flipping you a little bit.
All right, I'm just gonna dip down here and attack it with my short swords twice. Boom. And it hasn't actually gone an initiative yet.
It has not gone initiative, so you do have advantage.
What are the odds of that?
Wow.
Okay.
All right, those both hit.
Okay. So the first attack is 5. The second attack is 8. And then we got Hunter's Mark with 4 and 1.
So as this thing starts forming, it's doing exactly as it did with the last time, but you don't wait for it to form. And as the water, sort of this crust of ice and snow actually starts to sort of almost darken, like as a very dark blue, as it sort of comes together in the shape of Virik, two swords outstretched. You just sort of go in and start cutting at it, kind of cutting at almost like the oozy, gooey core of the thing, and then it starts reforming afterwards. So yeah, Barut.
Well, can I stand in that square?
Yes.
Cool. Then I'm gonna attack it with my longsword.
As you should. It's a hit.
For a whopping 4 damage.
You come in a little bit later and just kind of like scratch the thing as it's reforming, and it just sort of shards away a chunk of ice that sort of falls away. But again, it reforms into the perfect form of Virik. Well, as perfect as whatever this creature can make. After that is Aelnor.
Alright. I'm gonna move forward. Actually, I'm gonna move in front of Virik just to see what'll happen.
Oh yeah, this will be interesting.
See if it'll push past me. And I don't hit. I imagine.
No.
So, that's my turn.
Rick's just sitting there like,
Why
It's like
don't
thing with ice that
all
looks like he had
of you
floors.
but Virik give me Constitution saves?
oh,
That was not meant to be an advantage.
damn.
You roll it up.
Probably not good.
As you
shit,
start
okay.
surrounding it, it sort of curls up on itself and then just splashes waters and shard of ice all around you. Actually, Aenor's the only one who sort of manages to cover herself before it all hits, and it actually is going to deal 3 damage to Barut and 9 damage to Tobias. And you two are freezing. It's almost like as this stuff coats you, you are coated in constantly dripping, oozing water that is sort of bogging you down.
Unpleasant.
Your speeds are lowered by 10 each.
Okay, so I'm like a dwarf now.
Yep. And let me just look at a little bit of things. It is then also going to attack Aelnor.
Ah, so you can make it do that. Cool.
But it doesn't hit.
Okay.
You're just kind of focused entirely on a stalwart defense. Yeah, the paladin with the greatsword. And it doesn't get any hits off on you.
Defensive as I can be.
Virik.
I can't get around behind it because it's just out of the archway. So I'm gonna actually get to about here. That's 20 feet, I believe. Yep. And then I'm gonna chuck my boomerang and see what it does. Hey!
It
The dog
barks in
doesn't like the
anger.
boomerang.
I don't like it at all. That's
and
a
then I
good
gotta catch
hit.
it. Let's see if I catch it. And I catch it.
So one of the things where that's the first hit that actually leaves a solid mark that remains. And you actually hit it in sort of the side of the head, and its head snaps to the side and sort of cracks. And then snaps back and just stares at Virik, like through Aelinor.
Well, that's disconcerting.
Next up is Tobias.
I am going to try to stab it with a short sword. Here we go.
Oh, damn!
Ooh, there we go.
And my second short sword is...
Both hit.
Does a critical affect the hunter's mark damage as well?
Based on the fact that it affects smite damage, it probably should. Like,
Okay.
logically,
I mean, it's
right?
only 1d6, so then just... So the first attack
If we're running that smites are crits, then Hunter's Mark is also a crit, right?
is...
Oh
that
my
much
god.
damage.
Okay.
It's 25.
So 25 damage from the first attack, and the second attack is 12 more.
So it's
Holy
one of those
crap.
things, you actually realize, Tobias, while you're looking at this thing, that until Virik harmed it, nothing was truly doing actual damage to this thing. But then when you see the moment it hits, you just start hitting at its weak points, the weak points that it would be for a human, but also weak points for a creature made of water and ice, where it can no longer reform it properly. And you actually cut off both of its sword arms as it's sort of trying to get part. It actually puts like its hand with the sword in it, but it doesn't really like. It's like it's trying to copy a hand on you to try and push past you, and you kind of cut it off and cut at the arms, and it does. It cuts to the ground and just sort of like splashes and fizzles away. And then it's left looking maimed, completely and utterly maimed.
Okay, that is my turn. I then look to Baruit to finish the job.
Baru.
Yeah, let me just swing at this with my longsword and definitely not finish the job.
You have
I
advantage.
have advantage. What am I doing with that roll?
You
Hold
are
on.
a silly man, elf.
Damn. That's probably still not gonna hit.
That
me.
is a hit.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
Very surprising.
Mm-hmm.
jeez.
I'm surprised too.
For 6 damage, which is probably not very good.
You're hitting at it. You are hitting at it.
Yep.
Aelinor.
I then look to Eleanor to finish the job.
That's what Bruin's doing for sure.
That's a hit.
Ooh,
There you go.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, it's one of the things that where now it's starting to actually weaken. You're just all sort of like organizing the attacks and just cleaving into this thing. It's might not even get to Virik. But
I just imagine what I'm seeing is I just see these people in the way and then swords just going.
Aelinor, give me
It's
a
like that
dex
scene
save.
where you know, like in like mechanical playwrights, where they do like the one person hits the thing on the stump with the hammer, and then the other
Yeah.
person on the other side hits the thing on the stump.
Yeah.
It's that, but with this thing.
Aelinor, give me a dex save, please.
Dex save?
Oh.
Sure.
It's gonna try to get me, maybe. Oh.
It tries, like, seeing itself get injured, it sort of shrinks back, shrinking more and more, and where it's sort of dripping and the ice is melting. It actually kind of tries to push as hard as it can at and past Aelinor, but it does not ever do so. So it just sort of resides to attacking and clawing at her, which is going to be a hit. 5 damage.
Okay.
Virik.
Okay. Seeing all this happen, I am going to attempt to boomerang it again. So let's go with the boomerang, and yay!
That's a hit.
Okay, and let's see if I catch that boomerang again. I'm rolling well on my boomerangs. Yeah!
Yeah, solid go.
That's a catch.
And you're gonna move. You're just happy to be like swinging.
I'm
and
just gonna
swinging
stay
and swinging.
right there. Like I think this is the best place. Like
This
I
time,
can't.
you hit it the same way on the other side of the head, and its head snaps to the side, and it remains snapped to the
Oh,
side,
that's
almost like you broke your own neck.
Yeah.
So
Varric
it's
is
watching
very
Tobias
disconcerted
now.
Just kind of watching nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Tobias.
Yeah, when its neck snaps in my direction, I have 2 short swords to greet it.
Oh my god.
The second one wasn't a hit. First one
Okay.
was.
The first one, though, is gonna
Has a
do
fire.
this much damage. 10 damage.
10 damage, and with that, you kill it. How do you want to do that?
Yeah, literally, I mean, this is just all happening super fast. As his neck, like, cracks towards me, I just am, like, send its head sailing into the air.
And then it just sort of like explodes into water while it's gone, as the body just into it as well, leaving it again quiet.
Yeah, I'm still kind of cold and, like, wet, as I imagine Druid is, and I'm just like, well,
Yep.
that's 2 down.
Yep.
Well, that was
Nicely
quite
done.
horrific. He's not happy with the situation. That was. He just saw himself get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who's next?
Well, first things first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just walk over to Tobias and just pat him on the shoulder.
Oh,
and,
man.
Heal him.
Great gesture of camaraderie. I feel
Yeah.
so much better,
Yeah.
both physically
Ooh, I have
and
an idea.
emotionally.
Yeah. And and then I think at this point, I'm still extremely cold, but why not challenge mine next? So
All right.
Can I hide behind this pillar? Yeah.
You can give me a stealth roll.
Yeah.
You'd have to be like actually behind it. But, yeah.
Okay, so no.
Oh, okay, there, yeah.
Learned. I guess I was the one who was told that information, so I guess I will tell the rest of the group about my insight into the fact that I didn't seem to be harmed until the challenger did damage to it. I'll point to Burek and Jester use boomerang and be like,
As he walks behind the pillar.
yeah, right, as he disappears in the night.
Okay. It's just a thumb comes from outside the pillar.
Like, yeah, none of our attacks seemed to do anything until Burek managed to hit it with his own weapon, and then all of a sudden it felt like things were consequential.
I wonder if the challenger falls if the challenge is ended as well.
And you postulate
Ooh,
that,
good.
and then you make your challenge.
I am going to back up.
Mm-hmm.
Just not recasting Cure Wounds though. And roll 20. Basically the idea is I want us in the same positions. Just I'm gonna switch with Eleanor. So Tobias, if you want to be back in the exact same spot that you're at.
Yeah, which is
Do you guys want to be like one further back so that
Yeah.
I can get in behind it?
Like right
Yeah.
there.
I can be like right here, and then if Tobias, if you want to be across from Eleanor.
so like down here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like I mean, either that or you guys could be right beside me. Doesn't matter to me either way because we can adjust positioning after that.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I make my challenge.
Move my hunter's mark.
You make your challenge, and in the portal, in the archway, you see a sight that is familiar and a smell that is familiar of mountaintops and a distant homeland. Tobias, as you're sort of preparing your swords, you feel your body being dragged backwards off the platform as through the portal. Again, a large creature that shrinks down into the shape of Barut, made of stone and rock that remains jagged like the peaks of a mountain. Some of them even snow-tipped, and even a little wisps of cloud around it, as it appears and starts moving towards Barut. Everyone, roll initiative.
Okay. I like how I can see none of this, like nothing.
Yeah, because you went around the corner, and it's also doing a
Yeah,
pretty
I know.
cool thing to chat because they can see everything everyone can see, but because you've left, it's just like dark.
Yeah.
It's just dark, where because of advanced light, you know what the battlefield looks like, but they can no longer see it. Man, I love having a party that actually rolls initiative properly. Tobias, it's your turn, but you don't want to withhold it knowing that you can't hurt it, aside from Hunter's Mark, obviously.
Yeah, can I just withhold my turn until after?
No, you can. You either take it or you don't. You can prepare an action, though. You can prepare an action to attack.
I'm gonna move here and ready an action to attack it after it gets attacked by Bruit.
Yeah, I think that's entirely reasonable.
I will get ready with my swords and look to Bruit expectantly.
When it forms into Barut, with sort of cracks of sort of just a very deep, bottomless eyes, it then moves with very quick speed you wouldn't expect of something made of stone. Very quickly runs and swings at Barut. The first attack.
One shot.
The first attack does hit. Barut, give me a Constitution save.
The first attack.
Oh fuck.
And as it hits you, for 10 damage, it's just a quick, just the center of your chest.
Congratulations. I'm dead.
You fall prone, but you're unconscious anyway.
Yeah, I'm unconscious. Exactly.
And then it kind of looks down, and then turns to Barut beside him, and will also try to swing.
I assume you meant Tobias.
Tobias, yes. I'm tired. Which will also hit for 7 damage, and Tobias does not have to give me a Constitution save.
I do though because
You do for Hunter's Mark, of course. Alright, next up is Barut. Give me that sweet death save. I mean, we knew this was going to happen. It's a point of life, though.
Yep. It's good to know that the challenge doesn't just immediately end.
Oh, you don't want it to be easy now, do you? Very.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Okay. Shit. He didn't damage it.
Yeah, you would just, considering you can't see it, you just hear like a boom and and like the clattering of Barut's armor, which you've heard before.
Yep, many times.
All too familiar.
Oh,
Very comfortable on the ground.
okay.
Sleep time.
Yep.
Okay. You know what? Screw it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's gonna do this just in case. Actually, you know, I'm gonna go 7, 8. I'm gonna go here instead. And I'm just gonna try and stab it and punch it. Does my first attack get advantage? Did he see me?
Oh, that's a very valid point. I made you roll stealth, but I didn't even try to roll perception. It did see you, so you do not have advantage.
Damn it! Okay.
It rolled a 20,
Okay.
which, I mean, at least it rolled it on the stealth, not the attack.
Yeah, that's good. That's true. Okay. Okay, and then see how that does, and then I'm gonna try and hit it with the butt of the sword because I don't want to punch that thing because it looks painful.
Yeah, no, that's also a hit.
Yeah.
When you actually cut away at it, considering you've been dealing with some elemental things already, you kind of expect it not to strike as true as it does. But like the other one, it's actually sort of almost like a mud core. When you actually like strike at it, it kind of opens up, and then you sort of punch in and like tear out and make this kind of like hole in its side that just starts like oozing mud and pebbles and sand, kind of this weird dissonant mixture. After that is Alienor. Also, Dissonant Mixture is my new band.
Alright, I'm gonna heal Barut for 5 HP.
Thank you.
Kinda.
Get used to
Now.
this.
The fight's not over yet.
The
Barut.
paladin healing the cleric.
And then I will move myself over here and prepare to attack.
Tobias.
Okay. I would like to strike it with a short sword.
Please do. That is a hit.
And are we dealing with a similar situation as last time?
Ooh. No, when you harm it, it appears to remain harmed.
Okay, in that case, I will then attack it a second time.
Yeah. Sorry, I just realized that it cuts off when it does advantage. Because I must have changed things recently. That is an amazing hit. What the fuck?
So
Damn.
15 and 12, so 25 damage altogether.
Yeah. You start sort of slicing away at this thing, and again, it even though it has an exterior of stone, it looks much stony. You can sort of cut and cleave into the thing, and you're doing so not as effectively as the one made of water and ice, but you are starting to leave long-standing marks, and you figure the creature doesn't appreciate that because it then attacks you.
I was gonna say I brace for impact.
And it actually sort of reaches, and you kind of dodge to the side, but it wasn't trying to punch you. It then grabs you by the back of the head, by the braid, real douchey move, and then just very cleanly just into the head.
Oh!
You take
That fights like a southerner.
you take 7 points of damage and are instantly knocked prone.
Oh!
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and make a save too for Hunter's Mark, which was not meant to be an advantage.
And then seeing the Barut gets up, it kind of like shakes itself off, like it just punched someone. And then sees Barut get up and does like one of those.
I'm not up yet.
Well, you're on the ground.
Yeah.
So as you're standing up,
Yeah.
it does hit you
Oh, good.
Back down you go.
for 8 damage.
Yeah, I'm out. And
It's like you're getting up, hits you just under the chin, and you're just out again.
Yep. Great.
Barut, give me a death
Damn it.
save. Now remember, they do refresh every time you go down.
Yeah. I
That is a
remember
point
one.
of death.
Yeah.
Virik.
Couldn't have stayed up long enough to give me advantage. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stab at it.
Oh! Who needs advantage?
Yeah. So I see that happen as he like it backhands him. I see the hole I opened up, and I stab into it.
Twist.
Yep.
That's
Ooh.
real good.
That's a real good.
And now, you've seen him do this. You saw him do this at the campfire, but there was a lot of light there, so you didn't really see what this looks like in the dark. So now he's going to do flurry of blows, and it's almost as if he doesn't move, but shadows are punching it super fast.
Especially because the only light is the dancing lights, so he just sort of starts sort of attacking, manipulating from the darkness. The second attack is a hit.
Cool. Okay, one of them hit at least. Yeah. That would have been real sad if none of them hit.
Monk though, you know, you gotta play the game.
Yep.
And after that is
Me?
you. Sorry, I was trying to decide whether I was gonna make that one do something or not. It's kind of a 50-50 whether something cinematic makes sense. And there was something, but not quite.
I'm gonna take the attack of opportunity to move back over here. Because you have one death point, and that's like that point where it gets like worrisome, where you could roll a 1 and just die.
Yeah.
It does hit you
Okay.
as you run, and it hits you for 6 damage.
Ouch. Alright. And then
And this one's a boxer.
I will
Apparently.
cast Cure Wounds.
This one's just knocking us down left and right.
Thank you.
He's up again. At least I give you advantage.
Yeah, if I get an attack, because it goes
Oh, that's a
before
good
me.
point.
This
How you
is
gonna
not.
offer?
Tobias. You're on the ground.
Okay. Well, I stand
Probably
up.
nosebleed.
Yeah, use half my movement and I stand up. And I just kind of like do the thing where you like stick a knuckle in your nose and like blast blood out the other
Oh,
nostril.
yeah.
Very
And
northerner of you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to attack him twice with my short swords, which I guess is not an advantage, but that's okay because as we learned, it's
Miss.
all good. Does the 17 hit?
Yeah.
17 does hit. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
It started playing music that wasn't angry enough.
So that's 13 damage.
Holy
13
shit,
damage.
dude.
Yeah. Again, it was real good. You're now at this point. The thing was just sort of doing blows left, right, and center, and had this very strong stance that actually Barut doesn't have. And it was a very dead giveaway, but because it stood in just this very mighty way, where it kind of, he doesn't have a bad posture or anything. He's an elf, but he just sort of stands like a nerd. And then, but now it's starting to sort of shrink back like the other ones do. Maybe it actually even literally shrinks like a few inches. It's kind of hard to tell though, as it's starting to really wound itself, and then the blood, the mud that acts like blood, starts to ooze. From the inside.
I just look to Baruin with like blood on my sleeve, just like, what did you do?
Then as you say that, it attacks you.
I believe you.
Which you duck to the side.
Awesome.
And then it hits you with the second attack.
Oh no.
For another 6 damage.
Okay. Not doing so hot.
Yeah.
Fine.
And then I think I'm the only one who's untouched so far.
You're a monk. You're untouched until something horrible happens.
And then I go down instantly.
I think both the monks I've killed were also from like AoE spells, so watch out for them.
Oh no! Yep, good to know.
So I'm standing up now.
Mhm.
I've stood up. I am so never wanting to revisit this. Never, ever wanting to revisit this.
That's a hit.
Oh!
Yeah.
As you grab it,
27.
as you grab it, the stone starts to turn into sand and then eventually nothingness. It actually even turns back at you, making you stare at your own face as it disintegrates.
I've grabbed it by the throat, by the way. This is not a pleasant thing, and you can see Barut just staring.
And it sort of shakes and dissolves into naught but the dust on the ground.
I'm gonna sit down.
I was just. I sit.
Yeah, Varric's still just looking at me like,
You're
I thought
muted,
mine would
Aaron.
be bad.
My puppy's barking. Yeah, no, I will give him like a pat on the back that's like a touch too hard. Say, good job, Barut.
So. Coughs up blood. Are we taking another rest before we finish this, or?
Anyone feel like sleeping? I feel like sleeping. I don't really know what sleeping's
I'm trying to
like.
fall asleep right now, but.
A rest sounds good.
Well,
long?
because I'm
This is
fine.
short.
So while they rest, can I sort of just do a thorough investigation of the room, of the pillars and stuff like that?
Yeah. While they sort of take their camp, you can give me an investigation check.
Sweet. Yep. What? Oh, it died. I was like, I didn't touch anything though.
No, that's their healing. They're sort of bandaging up the wounds.
Oh no! No!
You found more snakes.
He's killed us.
The silence is just great. Just the fact that all he hasn't said a fucking word yet. Oh,
Varric, you're looking around. Varric's a curious guy, and he can see in the dark, which is very useful for looking around in dark areas. You're looking around, you're running your fingers in places they shouldn't be. You go and check that toenail again. You check the other toenails, because, you know, there might be stuff in it, and you're interested. And actually, you feel kind of very comfortable in a place like this, because it's a very open but underground space. Because there are layers of earth above this chamber height, even though it's very, very far down. As you start sort of looking around, you even go back outside slightly. And you actually notice that there are things. And that's really all you can see before they start running very, very quickly towards you. Now I have to rearrange the battle map. So you guys were in the corner. Just really far in the corner. Just really far in the corner. Just like so far in the corner it hurts, baby.
and we can't see Vieric.
You
And
can
I
hear
can't
him.
see that. Oh, I can see them just.
You
Just
can
honestly,
definitely
like,
hear him.
norm.
Oh no, yeah, I can't even see them now. You're just gonna hear from the other side of the room.
Ah! That's what drow sound like.
Oh no.
When I get stabbed, it's what I sound.
Everyone give me initiative. You guys are suffering a surprise round, but Varric doesn't. Because he sees them quick enough to be like,
Okay.
Did
Oh,
we
that's-
have time to use our hit dice in the short rest, or
Oh.
no?
no.
I'm not sure how much time has
I
passed.
am
on it.
sorry. They are being rescinded because Varric
I'm sorry. I'm
was
sorry.
a cheeky lad.
You just shouldn't do anything while we're resting. We should always just rest. Just rest.
That rule is going to last very long.
Yep. I'm definitely gonna have
Because
do
there's
anything
going to
happen.
be something
Oh.
shiny and
I have to
interesting.
roll a 1. Like out of everything.
It's not even your
Oh,
first
what are these-
one recently, you know?
Yeah. God damn.
What am I doing? Oh, Dex mod. That's what I was looking for.
What are these?
I will describe them in a moment. So, as you're wandering around, you see these things kind of going up the hallway, and they see you. You look at them, and they're small. They're sort of around 4 foot or so, and they're humanoid, but not human. They don't really fully look like a human. They don't even look really like a goblin. They're sort of like a gremlin thing made of this. It's hard to tell because you can't see color. It kind of looks like charred, broken wood or something of the sort. And inside, you see these flecks of light that actually do make them glow. That sort of spark and bright in bright moments and sort of flicker, and you sometimes see these sort of arcs of electricity running up and down their arms, which you have never seen before. That is completely new.
Okay.
They are actually going to act first, and they're going to run at you.
Yep. Yep. That's what's happening.
The first one that runs at you, you're very quick on the act. You kind of like dodge and duck out the way, and it goes like hash. And actually, unlike those elemental those challengers, this appears to be talking at you, but you do not understand what it is saying at all.
Oh no. Oh no.
What's your AC? Is 16? No, a 13.
Yeah, it's a 13.
Because it hit a 16. It grabs you, and it's one of the things maybe you whenever you meet a new creature, you're not sure how they're going to attack you. But it was a small little gremlin thing, so kind of grabbing and clawing is what you expected. And it does grab and claw at you, but never really actually getting at you with its claws. It seems to have like sharp enough claws. But the sort of sparking electricity and lightning running off them just sort of arcs into you and actually deals 8 points of lightning damage. And your back, the sort of cloth back of your not armor, actually starts... It's almost like the lightning clings to it, and it continues to burn.
Oh, this is how I die.
Now, Varric, your turn.
Okay. Does this with disengaging stuff? Does that work for both or just one?
Yeah, if you take a disengaged action, it's basically everyone nearby, but you would have to then move in such a way where you don't re-enter their spaces. So if you move,
Okay. What I'm actually
you move
going
out
to
and
do,
then down to the
my
side.
last key point, the Step of the Wind.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to jump back over this one and then sprint the fuck away. So,
if you try and jump over them, you're going to need to make an acrobatics roll. It's a contested roll.
I'm
to
fine
go
with
over.
that. Yep. Lovely,
Now,
that's
luckily,
great. He's gonna grab you.
it's an athletics versus, so you can roll acrobatics. They have to roll athletics, and they are small and not that strong. And it's literally like it kind of like they just kind of like turn and maybe slightly grab at you, but they don't hit you.
Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm gonna dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. guys, little things angry and electric.
We still can't see you.
And then as you're running and yelling, you feel this burning pain on your back. So you take 2 points of lightning damage as your back is still sort of crackling and arching with this electricity.
Oh, well, this is definitely how I die.
Tobias, he's running.
As soon as I hear this, I'm just like, ugh, I have 5 hit points. I'm not feeling great. So I'm going to use my action to consume one of those health potions I found in the big guy's toenail. Yeah, I just like...
Can you even consume the whole thing?
He's a northerner. He can chug that shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and 2d4 plus 2, friend.
This is the second time I've nearly killed the party.
Okay.
Like...
No, you're nearly killing yourself.
Okay, that's
You'll be
true.
fine.
Alright, I feel a little better. Is striking up a torch an action, or would that be my item?
I think in the book it's meant to be a main action. I can actually look that up real quick.
I mean, it's not
My
super
player's
important.
guide is really far down. I would say it is an action because it's interacting with an
Okay,
item.
in that case, I'm just gonna move as best I can in the darkness. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You do have a dancing light above your head, so you don't like stumble into things, but
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna move here, and that's my turn.
awesome.
The other thing I was gonna ask, sorry, since we didn't get our full rest, would it be, and the hour has not passed yet, would it be fair to say that I still have Hunter's Mark available to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
you know,
that's fine.
you get both sides. You didn't get the healing, but you do have Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, I can't see anything, so
Nope.
that's my turn.
Ha ha ha. He's a human.
They're fast, huh?
Oh my god!
That was 11.
As
That was
they're
11.
running, Barut, you actually hear that they're muttering in Primordial. But you can't really hear what they're saying.
Oh, good.
Just
Elementals.
the sound. It sounds right,
Yeah.
but a dialect of it you've never heard before. But then you've only heard one dialect of it before ever, spoken
Yeah,
by an
wow.
actual elemental, and a lot spoken by like priests and things. Barut,
Well, I'm gonna start moving. Potentially, if Roll20
really?
will allow me.
oh, really, you gonna move? Power play. I just realized, chat can't see Eleanor's health. 'Cause I'm
Oh, I
back.
see Vieric now.
Hi.
Problem I have, actually, I need to do something really quickly. Because I can't even see myself. Now
That's
I'm
what
dark.
happens with the holy light of the elven god.
Okay, so I can see something, which is...
I can check how much you see and whether you can actually see it or see it. That would be disadvantage. That's like, you know it's there, but you can't really
Cool.
see it.
I'm gonna shoot at it with my short bow.
Go ahead.
Oh,
It is a short bow.
Please
And I'm
don't
gonna
hit me.
shoot Vieric in the back of the head.
Roll
Please
damage.
don't. Oh no!
Only for one.
Only for one! It was going to be half damage anyway. So now it's just one. And you either way. As it's one of those things where just the arrow, like as Viric's running, you just didn't sort it out. You did a Tantus. You shot
Yeah.
someone who was running in front of you. It's kind of on
Yeah.
both of your faults.
Yeah.
Also, you are now a nightman.
Yeah, I'm changing that right now. That's... Don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm... There you go.
Eleanor. Viric does take one.
Yeah, I did it.
I'm sorry.
I can't see anything.
Humans!
30. Still can't see any guys.
I
Oh,
wish I could
wow.
do the sight thing for you you guys chat, but it's just not the way camera works, unfortunately.
Like, I can see a tiny little bubble around me, and there's nothing around except for Beirut. So, I guess I will. Varric, we can't see what you're fighting.
Okay. The best thing here is you're gonna like.
Which is why you got shot in the back, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Just click a button.
Yeah,
You actually can
I
see
imagine
these
what
things because they're glowing.
everyone else.
Oh, you can see them. They're good.
So should that attack not have been at disadvantage?
Nah. I strike that from
'Cause
the record. It happened that way. They actually start glowing as they run this way. They can do that.
Okay.
But that was my bad because I forgot to press the right button. You
I'm
can
gonna
see.
die.
35 feet.
So
Alright, in that case, I will.
No,
Hit it
no,
with a-
Will, no.
javelin at disadvantage because it is just out of my range.
That's a hit.
Fucking K.
I kind of assumed it would be. Which one are you shoot?
With
firing?
disadvantage? The only
Oh
one
my
I can
God.
reach.
I don't know which one that is.
That one. This one.
Okay. Yes, I did assume that actually. You do javelin the thing, and it kind of goes through it, like sort of this like splintering wood. Javelin goes through, leaving a big hole where inside you just see lightning, just crackling and moving in bright speed.
Lovely.
Next up
Alright,
is
that's my turn.
Vieric.
Okay, I'm gonna boomerang that one that just got hit. I'm just gonna, while running, just turn around and.
That is a miss.
Ah, crap. Okay, now I'm gonna try and catch it while I run back.
Swats it out of the air as it comes close instinctively.
I
You do
catch it on
catch
the
it.
way back still. Okay.
Good job, champ.
1, 2, 3, 4.
He's
5,
running
6,
running away.
7.
Hey, what's up?
Behind the ranger, huh?
Hi. No, not behind, next to.
There was a moment where I wasn't sure what it was gonna be.
No,
Tobias.
I come around from behind the pillar. Hi.
Okay. I am going to use my bonus action to put Hunter's Mark on this one.
Mhm.
Actually, sorry, I'll put it on the top one up there. I can't do a whole lot, so I'm going to use my action to just take a defensive stance.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I will
Oh,
stay
no.
beside my Dro compatriot here.
His back's a little singed.
I see that, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say, Vieric, you took damage. You took
How
another
much?
2 lightning damage. Because
Oh,
it's
I'm
not a
just-
little singe, it's sparking with electricity still.
That's just gonna kill me. That's just gonna down me. That alone.
Good thing we have all of our spells and healing
Oh,
abilities.
so wait, is Vieric down then?
No,
Yeah.
no. He's
not
just
yet.
still on
Oh, okay,
on
sorry.
electric. It's like on fire, get it?
I'm gonna run up.
Ah,
Hi. Ah, my back. Oh.
Get that cloak off. Why is it doing that to you?
I just sprinted like I don't know how many feet, like
Baruch.
80 feet, and then another 40.
Let me
I am
zoom in
going
on
to-
the action here. Little Action 5 news.
move across over behind this one.
Yeah, they're small
And-
size. So
Yeah,
easy pieces.
I've
see my
dropped
character.
my longbow, and I have my sword out, my long sword. I don't yet have my shield out. How much of an action is it to take my?
It's a full action. Take out your shield, man. Yeah, it sucks.
Then in that case, I am going to take out my shield.
Okay, ready yourself. Good.
Mhm.
That's fair. That's smart. I like
It
that.
is smart. Next up is
It's
Aelinor.
the safe. It's the safe option. given
Do
I
that.
get
Prefer safety. Like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna do this from now on.
I encourage safety.
And I'm rolling with disadvantage.
should
Yeah,
be
you
rolling
want the
with
opposite of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You did not
advantage.
e-
Yeah. It's still a hit.
Oh my god!
My apologies. And I will re-roll that one.
Please do.
Oh,
damn.
that's way better.
Yes. So 13 points of damage.
13 points of damage. You slash at this thing. This isn't the one you already attacked. So when you do, I mean, you probably like slash in and then it gets cut on what now it's much closer. You can see is literally like sort of splintered, chackened, and charred wood that sort of comes up and makes almost like an organic creature, but not really. And you just sort of hack away and then launch it out, and then splinters fly at Barut, who covers his face with his shield.
This is why I brought it out.
Yep.
Things
Very.
get stuck in this shield all the time.
Okay.
MVP.
Well, this thing's now come up and said hi, so I'm gonna sword it in the face.
That's a hit.
Yeah, okay. And then, wanting to be very careful about not touching it, I'm gonna then hilt it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. As you do,
Yeah, it's just-
you slap, and then its head caves in, but it doesn't instantly fall. It starts falling, and you see the electricity inside sort of build, and then when the wood all falls at once, has nowhere else to go, and it explodes outwards onto you lot.
What are these things?
Both of you
Well-
give me a dex save.
I would love to.
Ooh. You had quite a lot of time. You had quite a lot of time to prepare, Tobias. So you actually kind of like duck up more against the
I
pillar.
deserve this.
Virik is just staring, in like, and then it explodes all over him for 8 lightning damage. Tobias, you take
I'm
half
out.
of that. You take 4, and Virik just launches backwards with a plume of smoke behind him.
Yep, I'm down. Should I actually like move one?
No.
space back?
You remember, like in D&D, this is a 5-foot
Yeah, yeah.
space, so you still launch, just not that far. Tobias, you saw that. That happened.
That sure did happen. I'm so torn right now.
You just want to shoot the one that's beside us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so torn between doing what I want to do and what Tobias would do, because I feel like giving you a healing potion is probably a good idea.
Character
But-
choice over.
Yeah, Tobias is
character.
just gonna look to Virik and he's just like, I'm gonna come
You
up
got 2
here.
other healers in the party. He'll be
Yeah.
fine.
If possible, I will warn both of them. I'm sure you guys both just saw that explosion.
Yeah, we you know.
It's fine.
That's a miss. That is a tasty hit.
And this was actually the one I Hunter's Mark
Mm-hmm.
for 11.
Okay. Why don't you all give me dex saves, please?
Oh no!
Because as you run over to it, focusing your magic in on it, getting sort of like
Ouch,
a
son of a bitch.
pinpoint vision, you stab at it, the same thing happens. The wood falls apart, and the lightning explodes outwards, and he warned you. And with that warning,
The dice are punishing me.
everyone but Aelinor, who is not the most light on her feet person, actually manages to sort of like pull themselves mostly away or some sort, or root behind his shield. You are going to take... Aelinor takes 7 lightning damage, you 2 take 3. As that thing explodes, and then the air is quiet, aside from the slight crackling of electricity that's still on the wood. Don't worry, Virik is no longer, like, on electric.
Good.
And then what do you do to rectify the situation?
Someone go and pick Virik up.
Yeah, I just looked at Aelinor and I'm like, he could use a slap in the face. Or
Unfortunately, a slap is about all I can do.
I'm out of
That's
slaps.
But I will attempt to do a medicine check on him
if-
to.
If I see you doing that, I would also come over and say I actually am
See
fairly
if I
good.
botch this.
And your hand starts like glowing, and then she sort of just does like a, "Toof," and he's like, "Ah!" Back at 1.
Okay.
Well.
One.
What do you say we rest and no one goes exploring this time?
Seconded.
Yeah.
And with that, why don't we take our second break? We'll be back in about 5.